Hi everyone, welcome to the next video for the build of the DUNE Ornithopter kit. In this video I want to go over the paint job that I did, and I have mentioned before I did for the main color. I'm going to just go over that again and then show you guys the weathering that I did. Although I went minimal on weathering, you guys can actually do it as much as you want. I mean the actual Ornithopter is varying shades of dark grey to black to like a brownish color. So I went with almost the full scale version color, which is like a dark grey metallic color with weathering over the top. You can go darker or lighter brown on the color, so it all depends on you. And I mean there's more than one Ornithopter, so they won't all look the same. So my base color was like I mentioned before, was a mixture of gunmetal, ratio of 8, and then 1 of field blue. So this gunmetal is X10 in Tamiya color acrylic paints. The field blue is XF50, and then I just had used a plain white X2. So it was a ratio of 8 to 1 to 1. It might vary depending on your base color. I mean, I used Tamiya grey primer. My second section or part that I went over, it turned out lighter. I like these mounts, so it wasn't exactly the same, but with weathering over the top it blended in quite well. So I suggest mixing on quite a large batch and then keeping it for when you get to the other parts to paint them, unless you paint everything in one go, including the wings, because the wings take a lot of paint. Okay, so that's the base color. So first primer, grey primer, and then this is what I used. Okay, so this is with the weathering on. That's the color that I got. This is the floating floor on the inside. It actually the black or the blue color actually killed off the shine a little bit of the gunmetal, and the white just lightened it up slightly. Okay, what I did then, before I did external weathering, I painted the inside. So as you can see, this is the inside walls, which actually consists of padding. There is on the box account with all the photos of during production. There's a photograph of the interior, which shows like a brownish color. Obviously, if you look at screen grabs as well, you'll see it's the same. I used a desert yellow, okay, for the interior. I masked off these. I first painted them with gunmetal. It might be a bit darker, it should actually be a bit lighter, and then I just put a piece of cardboard over it around, as you see in the build document, and then I use this desert yellow XF59. Okay, and that included the roof. Okay, and then I hand painted all the extra detail with gunmetal. Okay, once that was done, because it was too yellow, I used this Mr. Weathering color. Okay, with a brush. It's actually called grayish brown. And it went over the top and it actually killed off the yellow, which gave it a nice padding color. I think it's quite accurate, but the choice is yours, it's your model. So go for the color that you think suits or looks the closest. What I did then, before I did any weathering, was I painted these Atreides badges or insignia with white by hand. Okay, and then when it was dry, I took I think 1,000 grit sandpaper and just went over it just to make it look withered. Okay, you can leave it bright if you want. Maybe it's a new Ornithopter, although I don't think any of them are new. Okay, then as you can see, this looks like sand all over it. Okay, so what I did was I picked this up in Japan a few years ago. I haven't seen it in any shop locally. It might be online, I'm not sure. But it's a weathering stick. It's like kind of like a pen. It's a soft material. Okay, I'm thinking this is actually made to wipe on this way. I didn't do it that way, but it's called Light Earth weathering stick by Tamiya. I can't see any number on it. if it helps, it says item 87087. Okay, no other numbers like the numbering system on the paint. Okay, so what I did over here was I took a shortish brush, which looks crappy now. I've screwed it up, and all I did was I just did this on the end, just like got some of this material on. It's like almost like a pastel, and then I just did this kind of motion onto it, and you can see it actually stays behind and looks pretty good. Okay, while I'm here, I did do the windows, as you can see. Okay, they all glued into the top. It's in the build document of how I did it. Okay, these are vacuum formed. These are stuck on. These ones on the front. Okay, so look at the build document to see how to put them in, but it's pretty self-explanatory of how it's done. Okay, so anyway, a bit off subject. So as you can see, it stays behind. I mean, what I did then is I went for a brush that wasn't as damaged. Okay, and I did the same thing. I just zapped a bit off the end, and just as you do, just turn it. You'll see that the full scale looks like it's like little pock marks all over the place. Okay, this here might need some more at the back. Okay. Now, while I'm on this section, this outlet for the side wings, I used a wash. You see in the build document as well, I separated this bottom section and I painted it gunmetal. Okay. Anyway, I used this wash. Panel accent color black, Tamaya, number, I'm not sure it is a number, but that's how it looks. And I did like in these outlets, top outlet slightly over there, wherever you think it's going to be a darkish color, I went over the top of these pipings and in between the wing mounts. Okay, so this doesn't need to be painted inside because you can cover it up with the cockpit. Okay, so to get to the interior, I'll get back to the exterior very shortly. I should finish the interior first. So the chairs I used, including the rear ones, I used this XF68 NATO brown. Okay, XF68. Okay, and then I used, I think, the desert brown for the seat belts by hand, and gunmetal for the frame. And this one I used some silver for the frame around the edge for the folded chairs. Okay, well, that's how they turned out. Okay, I use the same NATO brown for the front chairs, the 5, and then I think I used a plain grey for the levers and the control panel. And I just by hand painted a couple of red and yellow spots. Okay, use the reference as a guide. Okay, so for the exterior, for the legs, the rear ramp, the front legs, the rear legs, the ramp sections, I wanted the look to be like sand that accumulated on it, as you can see in this hook part. I'm not sure if it's actually visible. It looks pretty good. Okay, so as you can see on the legs, or the front legs, and the foot pad, I actually put I use the splashes, like I was saying before. On this part you can see it as I showed. You can see it over here as well. Okay, it's just a basic, it's an enamel dry earth MiG 1750 splashes. Okay, ammo. Okay, you can use whichever color you want, but this to me looked more like a desert kind of color. So I just slightly dabbed it onto the feet only, so it looks like it lifted sand up when it landed. So I did it on those, I did it on the rear legs. As you can see over here, let me get it in focus. Is that in focus? Okay, you can see it over there. Okay, so basically did that to all the lower sections, and also on this ramp. I used quite a lot of this pen with a brush and made it look like it's footsteps going up into it, to the interior. Okay, and then what I did on the wings, after painting with a base color, I used the same greyish brown color over the top of the metal look with a sponge, and then when it was like slightly dry, I wiped it off, so it gave it kind of like a dirty look. Okay, that will give it a bit of life. As you can see, I haven't sanded mine down smoothly. You can sand yours down, but I think it's a wing, so it doesn't need to be smooth. Well, maybe a wing needs to be smooth, but it's another universe or another galaxy or wherever, so maybe it doesn't need to be smooth. Okay, I think it's all on the withering and the final paint job. I might put some more of this pen onto the top, so it looks like the more sand landed on top. Okay, I think that's all of the paint job. There's a more of an explanation in the build document, so you just read through it like I've mentioned before you build. The next video I'm going to go over is the stand, and then now I'm going to actually do putting it together, all the sections, and then I'll do the stand, and then I'll do a turntable. Okay, so till the next one, guys. Thanks. Cheers.